and stuff. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, welcome to the Quick Cut. I'm so glad you have decided to do this for the next 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks long. Yeah. This is our most effective program that we've created at Pace Fitness. I had somebody come up to me, maybe it was you, Mary. I was Googling Quick Cut and I had some weird stuff come up. Was that you, Mary? No, somebody else. Oh, it was Jenny. And I was like, Jenny, that's because this is just the thing here. You can't get the Quick Cut anywhere else. Not yet. Okay? Aha, not yet. So I'm really glad you guys are doing this with us. Every time we do this, and we've been doing this for about 2.5 years now, every time we create a new round of it, it gets better and better, more effective, more information for you. We cut out the stuff you don't need, and we emphasize the stuff you do need. So this is our best version that you guys are getting, okay? So the first thing we're gonna talk about is tracking your results. It is really important that you get an InBody scan every single week. Ideally, the same day and the same time. So if your day and time is gonna be Friday morning before you work out, or Friday afternoon before you work out, or Saturday morning, just keep it consistent throughout the challenge. What that does is it takes out variables so that we have more comparable data scan to scan. This is all about you seeing the results for yourself. This is not about you believing me or taking my word for it. It's about you trying things and seeing how it affects your body and knowing without a shadow of a doubt what works for you and what does not work for you. It will not depend on the references I give you or anything else. It's just based on your observation of how your body changes. But the only way we can truly observe that is if you get InBody scans on a regular basis. Your scale, when you step on your scale at home, is too general. It just tells you how much your entire body weighs. Your bones, your muscles, your water, your tendons, your ligaments, your hair. Okay? If you want to get metabolically healthier, we don't care about all those things. We care about how much muscle you have and how much body fat you have and where the body fat is. And the InBody scan clues us into those things. So we must get weekly InBody scans as part of the Quick Cut. Deal? Yeah. Okay, good. We're gonna talk about what the InBody scan shows us and what they mean. So I'd like you all to open your app. If you don't have the app, you need to download it and create an account using your phone number. That will sync every scan you do directly to your app. All you have to do is get a scan and then it will show up for you inside the app. Everyone have the app open? Yes. You don't have your phone? You wanna look at my InBody scan? Yeah. It's all good. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna look at is your skeletal muscle mass. So if you're under details, you'll see a menu at the top and it says details. It's the second from the left. Click on that and you're gonna scroll down until you see SMM, which stands for skeletal muscle mass. Does everybody see it? Give me a thumbs up if you see it so I don't move too fast. Once everyone's got their thumbs up, we'll move on. Yeah? Details and then SMM. Right there, skeletal muscle mass. You're good. Who does not see it? Raise your hand, I'll help you. You don't see it? Is your app open? Okay, go to details and scroll down until you see skeletal muscle mass. I think it's the second graph, is that correct? It's the second line graph, the second chart. Do you see it now, Eugene? All right. Okay, everybody sees it? Are you waving at me or the baby? Sorry. It's okay. It's good to see you. Okay, good. So on skeletal muscle mass, it's really important to know what we're aiming for. We are aiming for more than average muscle. We want you to be above average in muscle mass. If you're in the average range, it just means we need to work on getting you above average. If you're above average, we just work on keeping that muscle mass with all our might through training and nutrition. If you're below average on muscle mass, we need to work really hard to get your muscle mass up. Like, we need to do very deliberate things with your nutrition and your training to build your muscle mass. Does that make sense? Muscle mass is a very important part of your body for maintaining good metabolic health. If you don't have enough of it, your body struggles metabolically with some of the processes that go on when you eat food and take in nutrition. Your muscles have everything to do with it. The other thing is that as we age, and you guys know that we're getting older, okay? And as you get older, there is this idea that when you get older, you get weaker. Have you heard that? When you get older, you lose muscle. You heard that? Anyone getting older and gaining muscle? Crazy. Crazy. You guys are violating rule number 10. Get old, lose muscle, okay? It is not true. You can build muscle mass forever if you do the right things, nutritionally and training-wise. So you are proving that wrong, okay? So it's never too late to build muscle mass. You can always build more, and when you have lots of muscle and you're in your later years, you have an immense amount of protection that people without muscle don't have. Number one, you can get off the toilet by yourself. Yeah. Anyone had to pick someone up off the toilet who couldn't get up by themselves? Yeah, I did some caregiving. They literally need help going down to the toilet and getting off the toilet, okay? You can climb stairs. You can get up a curb. You can walk for distances. You can travel and move your own luggage in and out of airplane compartments, okay? These are things that I think we all want to be able to do for as long as possible, right? Your muscle mass is a major factor in that. Cool? Okay, so that's your muscle mass. Who has above average muscle mass? That's going to be a majority of the room. Yeah, great, good. So your game is just hold on to it. Just keep it above average. Okay. The next one we're going to look at is your body fat mass. And this is the one we're all here for, to get rid of. You signed up for the quick cut, right? The quick cut. We're cutting off fat. That's the idea. But we're cutting off fat while maintaining muscle. So everybody look at your graph there. I think it's just the next one down. And if you are above average in body fat mass, the goal is to get it into the average range and hold it there. Okay? Yeah? Do I have to explain that? Not really. We all want that. Okay, good. Percent of body fat. So if we scroll down, I think it's the next section, you'll see percent of body fat. This is a comparison of how much fat you have compared to the rest of your body. Bone, muscle, tendon, hair, ligament, whatever, right? This is how much fat is there percentage-wise compared to the overall whole. And there's a lot going on in here besides fat and muscle. There's a few ways you're going to see this change for the better. One is you keep the amount of fat you have. If you've got 60 pounds of fat, you keep your fat, but you gain muscle. And if you do that, it changes the percentage because now the overall whole is bigger, and so you have a lower percentage of body fat. Everyone tracking? Okay. The other way we do this is you keep your muscle and you just get rid of body fat. That one's the obvious one. Your body fat percentage goes down. Everything else stays the same. What can happen is your body fat percentage doesn't change at all, even though you're losing fat. And why would that happen? Because you're losing something else. You're dehydrated, you're losing muscle mass. And so the overall whole is getting smaller at the same time that your body fat is getting smaller. And so your body fat percentage is not changing. It'll stay at 35, 45%, whatever it is, even though your weight is going down. Okay? We don't want that. We want your body fat to go down and your muscle mass to stay high. Crash dieting does that. I'm just gonna not eat. And next thing you know, weight's going down, you're having success, but your body fat percentage is staying high because you're losing fat and muscle at the same time. And we don't want that. That's not what the quick cut is about, right? So we do want to pay attention to our body fat percentage for that reason. Everybody see your number? Good. And you see above average, average, and below average. Guys, below average, you're going to be just fine. We don't want to drop below like 3-4%. Ladies, we want to stay in the average range. We don't want to go too far below average. Our hormones depend on body fat. So if you start dropping below 20% body fat, you might start to see interruptions to your cycles. Okay, whether you have cycles or not, you're going to see interruptions to your hormones if you go too low. Okay, all right. Our next one is visceral fat. Visceral fat is probably the most important number. I was debating muscle mass or visceral fat. Muscle mass will help get rid of the visceral fat, so maybe that one's more important, but visceral fat is a close second. Visceral fat is the precursor to all the big deal metabolic problems. Okay, fatty liver disease, diabetes, insulin resistance, all of those things, we can find out you're headed that way by looking at your visceral fat and what it's doing before you get there. You don't have to wait to get diagnosed and get blood work to know you're headed in that direction. If your visceral fat is growing, we are headed in that direction, okay? So we want our visceral fat to be below 10. Does everyone see where that is? You just scroll down? Okay. We want it below 10. 10 represents 100 square centimeters, okay? Square centimeter is like this big, okay? 100 square centimeters. That might sound like a lot, but 100 square centimeters is like this big. That's it. That's how dangerous visceral fat is. This is all we want. It's about this much in your gut, and anything beyond that, and we're in trouble, okay? This is not just around your organs. Has everyone heard the term visceral fat? Yeah, okay. So it's not just around. This fat starts to actually get deposited inside the organ tissues and start to interrupt the functions of your vital organs. And so that's why we want this much or less, okay? It will drop slowly. It won't drop like you see your body fat mass or your muscle mass change. It'll drop slow. Because the 10 and the 12, they represent a whole 10 cubic centimeters. So what I mean is 10 means 100 cubic centimeters, 11 means 110 cubic centimeters, 12 means 120 cubic centimeters. So it might take a couple weeks to see that thing change. It doesn't mean it's not changing. It means your graph is just representing it as a bigger number or as a smaller number to the whole. And so you're going to see those changes maybe a week or 2 or 3 out. But don't get discouraged if you don't see it right away. Okay? That's visceral fat. Everyone found it on their graphs? Yep. Cool. Okay, total body water. Scroll down. There's a whole bunch of water metrics on your InBody app. These are not about your health. They have absolutely nothing to do with your health. Okay? This scan is not designed to tell us if you're hydrated or not hydrated, if you need to drink more water or not. That is not why they are there. They are there so that we know we're comparing apples to apples. When you get on that scanner and you've had Chinese food the night before and you were out in the heat all day, your body manipulates the water that's inside your body, inside and out of the cells. It makes you sweat, right? There's all sorts of water fluctuations that happen depending on what you subject it to. And then the next time you do your scan, it's the winter and you've been doing really good on your water intake. You haven't been eating salty foods, nothing processed. And all of a sudden your muscle mass looks like it's in the toilet. And you're like, what the heck? I've been doing so good. How is this possible? It's because there's a change in water. And it's not necessarily that you lost muscle mass. It's that you lost water that was building up in the tissue. Okay? This is also why we scan before the workouts. Because if you scan after the workouts, whatever you did in the workout manipulates the body and shows up different on the scan. So like today we did snatches. So your upper body is pumped, right? Your biceps, your shoulders, everything's, these guys, your nuggets, they're pumped up. You use them, the body sent fluid to the area, you get on that scanner and it's gonna show more muscle mass because your muscle mass are pumped full of juice, okay? Now, if we did the first open workout with all those stinking wall balls and then you did the scanner, your legs are gonna be pumped And you're gonna get on the scanner and it's gonna be like, dude, you gained 7 pounds of muscle mass in your quads. Nope, you didn't. It's just water, yeah? Anyone try to put on jeans after a leg day? And you're like, you know? Okay, not just me. I don't really wear jeans, so. But your legs get bigger. They get bigger, and that's because of water. Our body moves water in and out of the cells and all around very easily, very quickly. So why do we have this water number, and why are we talking about it? Because there will come a time as you're tracking your in-body scans where you're like, oh my gosh, I lost 7 pounds of muscle. And you're gonna come to your coach and you're gonna be like, I don't understand, it's not working. And then we're gonna scroll down to your water and we're gonna be like, you're down 7 pounds of water, right? It's not tissue, it's water. We did a little research when this was coming up a lot. Your body can't lose that much muscle that fast. It will not digest your muscles that quickly and disperse them in other places. It is not you losing muscle mass, okay? So you need to pay attention to the water. It would be a great habit. Every time you look at your scans, scroll down, check the water. Great, everything looks the same. Scroll up, check the rest of the numbers, okay? Use that as a point of reference. If you're new to scanning, you don't know where your baseline is. You don't know what's normal for you when it comes to water. So as you scan, you're gonna start to see, oh, my water normally sits in this range. Great, now you know if you're outside that range, you're outside that range. You'll get to know your baseline. That's what water's for there, okay? Great, you don't need to start taking electrolytes and drinking gallons of water. That's not the point. Okay, good. Any questions on the in-bodies? No? Okay, great question. So ECW stands for extracellular water compared to intracellular water. And it's a ratio. So we're looking at the two together. The extracellular water, if you picture a bucket full of water balloons, and then in the bucket is also full of water, the water that the balloons are floating in is extracellular. And the balloons are the cells. But imagine the balloons could take water out of them and into the bucket, or pull water from the bucket into them and get bigger. That's what your cells are like. The water can go, it can fill up, or it can push out the water and put the water extracellularly. So that balance is important when we're looking at the consistency of scans, and you'll find a baseline there as well, okay? This isn't necessarily something we're gonna try to manipulate, but if you find all of a sudden that there's a big fluctuation in extracellular water, it's usually sodium. You had pizza last night, Chinese food, you went to McDonald's, right? It's something high in sodium that pulls the water out of the cells. And you guys ever feel the bloat, like in your ankles? That's extracellular water that you can actually feel and see sometimes, okay? Cool. Trick to reversing it, potassium. Potassium shoots the water back into the cells. They're opposites. One's a positive and one's a negative. So, have some pizza, eat some potassium. Okay? What? Banana pizza. That's a great solution.
Pizza on the cold fit.
Potatoes are also really high in potassium.
Pretty sure pickles are too.
Pickles, yeah. Vinegar. Yep. Okay. That's our in-body. Any other questions on the in-body? Those are some good ones. Cool. We're going to get into it. So everybody needs to have a clipboard soon. A couple more things to talk about before we do our worksheets, but just want to make sure we're starting to settle out. Okay, do you want to sit over here, Eugene? Okay. There's like a seat.
He needs to be another clipboard.
Yeah. Any extra clipboards around that's not in use? No? Okay, I'll get one. Here you go, sir. It's like you're part of the team now. Okay. The tug of war. A lot of you guys have seen this slide before. This is to illustrate the effort it will take to change what you're doing, whether it's exercise or nutrition. You have things in your life that are going in the opposite direction. We all are subject to it. So, first of all, culture. On your drive here, you are subjected to ads that made you think, that'd be good. right? Whether it was a billboard of McDonald's latest McFrappy thingy, or you just drove by that Starbucks sign and you remembered, oh yeah, last time I had a Starbucks, it was delicious, full of sugar, full of crud, okay? This is our culture. You watch TV, there's apps where you just press some buttons and next thing you know, you have crumble cookies delivered to your door, okay? Like, this is the world we live in. The world we live in is set up to make you sick. It is not set up to make you healthy. It rewards you for doing the things that make you sick, okay? So that is a huge fight right there. But once you see it and recognize it for what it is, we can start to take control of it. That's just another billboard trying to get me to eat sugar, okay? That's just another marketing campaign getting me to buy that for my kids, because that's really what that stuff is, okay? And then we have our old ways, and our old ways are very powerful. All the decisions you've made in the past about how you're going to eat, how you're going to train, what's okay for you, what you're going to allow, all those decisions, they play on you today. Even if it was a year ago, 10 years ago, all those times you decided, oh, it's okay, I'll just have one. Oh, it's fine, I worked out really hard. Oh, I had a really stressful day, I deserve it. All those decisions, we need to start to recognize those and change them for the future. But they're there, and they're pulling against you. Then we have our lovely, wonderful friends and family. And they're the worst. Do you see how hard they're pulling? They're the worst, okay? We dedicated an entire Quick Gut talk to what we call people problems. Because I'll tell you, they're problems. If you were all by yourself in your own home with your own fridge and your own menu and nobody saying, let's go get some ice cream. You know, it'd be so fun. Let's get pizza tonight, right? Like, it's a bit, because now you're fighting the whole, like, well, I want to participate. I want to connect with them. They like to connect over food. You know, my friends only get together for mimosas. My friends just like to drink. It's the only time I see them. Like, right, you're going, am I going to lose friends? You might. Unfortunately, you might, okay? This is a big deal. When it comes to your family, you're going to have to get them on board. If you think you're going to have long-term success in your nutrition without having the people that live under the same roof with you on board, you need to think again. It's really, really tough because they're going to be constantly pulling at you, constantly. And I've seen it time and time again. At some point, someone's going to win the tug of war, either you or them, and you're going to tug until somebody wins. So you need to tug hard in your direction. Your direction is the direction of better health for both of you. So you need to tug and keep tugging and figure out how to keep pulling in your direction, because they're going to keep pulling in theirs until you win, okay? And we have strategies on that. We'll go over it a bit in one of our talks. Now, your tug on this side of things with exercise and nutrition, it's a lot harder in the beginning. The beginning is the hardest time because you're not even certain yourself. You're still figuring it out. When somebody says, are you sure you should be eating that much red meat? You go, I think so, right? That you still haven't developed the certainty about what works for your body. But as we go through like this challenge and you start to see how you feel, how you're performing in the gym, and what your metrics look like, and what your body looks like, you're gonna have that certainty, and it makes that fight a lot easier. Because when Aunt Jemima comes to you at Thanksgiving table and be like, you're eating potatoes? And you're like, yeah, I'm eating potatoes. It's not gonna be like, should I be eating potatoes? It's gonna be like, I've been eating potatoes for 3 years and I'm the leanest I've ever been, okay? That's the certainty that you will get over time of doing different practices with your nutrition and looking at the changes, okay? So it's harder in the beginning and it does get easier. It's not a dead end. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like this forever. It won't, okay? Good. Questions? Great. Okay, so here's how we win. We win by deciding who we want to be. Okay? You need to decide, am I going to be a fit person? Am I going to be metabolically healthy? Am I going to be a 90-year-old who can still climb 3 flights of stairs? Who am I going to be? And it is going to be a change of who you are. Okay? Because you've been that girl who's like, yeah, let's go get ice cream, right? Or you've been that girl who's like, mimosas, brunch, right? Whatever, right? You have been in one character, and you're going to have to be in another character to really achieve what you're looking for. Because the person you've been being has gotten you to where you are. So you're going to have to be different to get to where you want to go. Okay? Once we figure out who that's going to be, we can figure out what that person needs to do. Okay? Well, what does that person do? That fit mama, that fit daddy, that fit grandpa. What do they do? What are their behaviors? What are their actions? Okay? And what do we get to have as a result of it? Does that make sense? So we're going to work this backwards. It's easier to work this backwards. So your worksheets, this is where we get to write on our worksheets. You're going to look at, what do I want to have? If you were looking at a career and you're like, I want to have a private jet, you would write, I want a private jet. And then you need to look at what you got to do to get a private jet. And then you got to look at who you got to be to have a private jet. You want to have a Ferrari sports car for a body, okay? One that can like 0 to, I don't know, give me something, Eugene. I don't know. 0 to 100 in 1 second, okay? Well, what do you got to do to have a body that does that? What do you got to do? So write down what you want to have. What kind of body do you want to have? What do you want that body to be able to accomplish? I want a body that is, and you can write down metrics. You can write down things like, I want a body fat percentage that is 20%. Or I want to have a body that has, I want to have 100 pounds of muscle mass. That's a have. Okay? Do you need a pen? Got a pen? Okay.
What is an average for a woman body fat wise?
So we want to range between like pounds or percentage. Probably between like 25 and 35% for women past 40.
And women past 70?
Same.
Okay.
Wasn't going to go there, Donna. I'm trying to get like, what's the word? Politically correct. Trying to get there.
I'm okay.
I know you are.
It's a long curve.
I know. It's a long road. One step at a time.
There's not much I can do about it.
Yeah.
What's the body fat percentage for someone in their 20s?
In their 20s? Like the one sitting next to you?
Yeah.
All right, so ladies, we don't want to drop below 20%. This is really a preference thing. So healthy is going to be under 30, okay? But you're going to have a preference. Some females like to hold a little more body fat. They just like the way it looks. They like the way it feels, okay? Some females like to be super lean. And so we don't want to go below 20. It's seriously, it's a preference. I can't tell you, but somewhere between 20 and 30 is going to be fine. Yeah. Did you have a question? Oh, yes. There we go. Awesome. So we're writing down all the things we want to have. All the things we want to have. Oh, it's still working. This is good.